Vanta's $4 billion valuation, the future of compliance in cybersecurity. In a world where cyber attacks are becoming increasingly common, companies are scrambling to protect themselves from the devastating consequences of a data breach. But here's the thing, it's not just about having the right security measures in place, it's also about being able to prove that you're taking the necessary steps to keep customer data safe. That's where Vanta comes in, a startup that's just been valued at a whopping $4 billion in its latest funding round. Vanta's software helps companies manage compliance with cybersecurity and privacy standards, making it easier for them to prove that they're taking the necessary steps to protect customer data. And with the rise of cyber attacks, it's no wonder that Vanta's valuation has skyrocketed from $2.45 billion just last year. But what's driving this growth? According to Christina Cassiopo, Vanta's co-founder and CEO, it's all about the increasing demand for tools that can help companies limit the fallout from cyber attacks. And with recent high-profile breaches like the Microsoft SharePoint hack, it's clear that companies are willing to invest big in order to stay safe. So, how does Vanta's software work? In a nutshell, it helps companies track their adherence to frameworks like SOC 2 and ISO 27001, making it easier for them to prove that they're taking the necessary steps to protect customer data. And with over 12,000 customers on board, including big names like Atlassian and Snowflake, it's clear that Vanta's software is in high demand. But here's where it gets interesting. Vanta's software isn't just for tech companies. It can also help businesses outside of the tech industry to quickly complete security reviews before engaging outside suppliers. And with the rise of remote work, this is becoming increasingly important. Cassiopo and her co-founder Eric Goldman started Vanta back in 2018, and have since built it up to a team of over 1,000 employees. And with investors like CrowdStrike Ventures, Wellington Management, and Sequoia Capital on board, it's clear that Vanta has got the backing it needs to take its software to the next level. But what does this mean for the future of cybersecurity? One thing's for sure, as cyber attacks become increasingly common, companies are going to need to invest big in order to stay safe. And with Vanta's software leading the way, it's clear that the future of cybersecurity is looking bright. So, what do you think? Are companies doing enough to protect themselves from cyber attacks? And what role do you think Vanta's software will play in the future of cybersecurity? Let us know in the comments. Vanta's $4 billion valuation, a strategic fundraise despite financial stability. Imagine a company that's already sitting on a massive pile of cash, yet still decides to raise even more funds. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But that's exactly what Vanta, a security and compliance software company, just did. On Wednesday, Vanta announced a whopping $150 million fundraise, valuing the company at a staggering $4.15 billion. This new round brings Vanta's total funding to around $500 million, with co-founder and CEO Christina Cassiopo's stake now worth a cool $830 million. But here's the kicker, Vanta didn't explicitly set out to raise more funds, and it hasn't even touched the $150 million it raised just a year ago. So, what's behind this unexpected move? According to Cassiopo, it's all about seizing opportunities. The last 5 years of Vanta has taught me that these market openings are opportunities that don't last forever, she says. Part of why we took the funding was that it feels like there is so much opportunity, and we are in a very good position so long as we execute towards it. It felt like the capital would help us do that. Cassiopo and Matt Weiler, head of Wellington's late-stage growth investing, have a history that dates back over a decade. They first met in New York, where they would often grab coffee at Manhattan's City Bakery. Weiler was impressed by Cassiopo's strategic thinking, energy, and intelligence, calling her 10 out of 10 on the smartness scale. Fast forward to today, and Vanta is a force to be reckoned with. The company's goal remains the same, to automate businesses' security compliance processes, saving them time and money in the process. With the help of AI, Vanta can now take the first pass on security reviews, although a human is always in the loop. The company's 12,000 customers include big names like Mistral AI, Omni Hotels, Duolingo, and fintech firm Ramp. Vanta's biggest rival, Drata, is significantly smaller, with annual recurring revenue of just $100 million. But Cassiopo isn't worried about competition. Most customers don't care if you created the space, they care if you have the best product for them today, she says. With the additional funding, Vanta plans to expand further into government partnerships, invest more heavily in AI, and more acquisitions. The company has already started expanding into compliance with government standards like FedRAMP, and its goal is to make it easier for companies to sell to the government and stay compliant. As for AI, Cassiopo's goal is to make sure the technology is actually helping customers solve problems, rather than just rubbing a little AI across the entire product. Vanta recently released an autonomous AI agent that handles companies' security and compliance workflow from beginning to end, with little human intervention. But with AI comes risks, such as hallucination, where an AI model generates incorrect information. To mitigate this risk, all AI-generated recommendations or questionnaire answers still need to be reviewed by a human. Vanta also claims not to train on customer data, instead using a combination of pre-existing large language models, high-quality human-labeled data, and synthetic data to refine its AI capabilities. Earlier this month, Vanta acquired Israel-based startup Risky to help with continuous, AI-driven risk monitoring. Cassiopo says Vanta wants to acquire companies with adjacent products that add to Vanta's existing offerings, and that the new funding will allow it to make more acquisitions if the right opportunities arise. In a long view of technology history, the most sustainable companies are multi-product earlier in their journey, Cassiopo says. There is often a core product or use case, but there are just many useful things around it. That's how we think about it as well. Vanta's long-term goal is to become an enduring sustainable company, and pretty much all of those companies become public companies at some point. It's part of why Wellington, a $1 trillion asset manager, led Vanta's latest funding round. Our strategy is to find the next generation of public companies in the private market, and then partner with those companies to help them become great public companies, Weiler says. Definitionally, everything in our portfolio, including Vanta, are companies that we believe can and will be long-term public companies. So, what do you think? Is Vanta's decision to raise more funds a smart move, or is it just a case of having too much cash on hand? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Vanta's AI-driven trust platform, revolutionizing cybersecurity and compliance in 2025. Imagine a world where trust is not just a buzzword but a strategic asset that drives business growth. Welcome to Vanta's AI-driven trust platform, a revolutionary force in the realm of cybersecurity and compliance. By 2025, Vanta's staggering $4.15 billion valuation, a meteoric rise from its $150 million Series D funding earlier in the year, signals more than just investor enthusiasm. It heralds a transformative shift in how companies manage trust. For savvy investors, the debate isn't about Vanta's potential, it's about the magnitude of its future impact. Valuation skyrocket, the tale of scalable brilliance. Vanta's evolution from a niche compliance automation startup to a $4.15 billion trust powerhouse is a textbook example of scaling AI-driven solutions. Since 2021, the company has secured $504 million in funding, with its Series D round spearheaded by Wellington Management and backed by giants like Goldman Sachs and Sequoia. This influx of capital has propelled Vanta to new heights. It now supports 12,000 companies across 58 countries, boasts a workforce of over 1,000 employees, and operates data centers in the US, London, and Sydney. The surge in valuation is grounded in concrete achievements. Clients report a remarkable 81% reduction in security review times, a jaw-dropping 526% ROI over 3 years, and the continuous monitoring of 200 million resources. These figures aren't just impressive, they signify a platform that has transcended basic compliance tools to become an essential infrastructure for global enterprises. AI breakthroughs. transforming trust into a growth catalyst. Vanta's AI innovations are its true ace in the hole. The Vanta AI agent, introduced in a private beta in 2025, is a groundbreaking development. This advanced AI system automates policy management, detects inconsistencies in real time, and functions as an intelligent policy chatbot, answering queries like, "Is our password policy ready for an audit?" in mere seconds. For small businesses and rapidly growing startups, this eliminates the drudgery of manual compliance tasks while ensuring alignment with key frameworks like SOC 2, ISO 27001, and HIPAA. The AI agent's seamless integration with engineering tools, such as VS Code and Cursor, further expedites remediation processes. For example, Duolingo saves 12 hours every week using Vanta's AI-driven vendor risk management, while Atlassian enables over 400 partners to showcase compliance milestones through automated trust centers. These real-world applications demonstrate Vanta's prowess in transforming compliance from a cost burden into a competitive edge. But here's where it gets controversial. Vanta's AI isn't merely automating tasks, it's fundamentally redefining trust. The platform's zero-touch security reviews and natural language remediation tools a future where trust is established, verified, and sustained in real time. This isn't just an incremental upgrade, it's a revolutionary paradigm shift. Market dominance, strategic partnerships, and global outreach. Vanta's stronghold in the GRC sector is bolstered by strategic alliances and an unwavering focus on scalability. Its partnership with Tagore, a compliance services provider for small businesses, is a case in point. By integrating Vanta's AI-powered tools into Tagore's offerings, the collaboration enables Tagore to provide scalable, deeply integrated compliance solutions with real-time monitoring. This not only enhances Tagore's market standing but also solidifies Vanta's platform as a critical infrastructure layer for GRC. Geographically, Vanta's expansion into Australia and Europe highlights its ambitious vision. With 10 million Trust Center views globally, the platform is becoming the gold standard for enterprises aiming to streamline procurement and vendor risk management. Rivals in the GRC space, such as OneTrust and MetricStream, have yet to match Vanta's AI-centric approach or its capability to automate 95% of security questionnaire responses. Investment prospects, a high-growth opportunity with solid metrics. For investors, Vanta presents a rare blend of high growth and robust market positioning. Its valuation, though substantial, is justified by its increasing capture of the $10.5 billion GRC market. Vanta's AI-driven tools are not only addressing current compliance challenges but also future-proofing businesses against evolving regulatory landscapes. However, risks are inherent. The GRC sector is highly competitive, and regulatory changes could impact adoption. Yet, Vanta's pioneering role in AI automation, complemented by its 375+ integrations and 24/7 support, creates a formidable barrier to entry. For those willing to invest in the future of trust management, Vanta's platform is more than a product, it's a strategic asset. Conclusion: trust is a strategic advantage. In an era where data breaches and regulatory scrutiny are commonplace, trust is no longer a mere compliance checkbox, it's a pivotal growth lever. Vanta's AI-powered trust platform has strategically positioned itself at the nexus of cybersecurity, automation, and business scalability. For investors, the opportunity lies in recognizing that Vanta isn't just adapting to the future, it's actively shaping it. The burning question now is whether the market will continue to support this upward trajectory, or if Vanta's innovations will set the new benchmark for all competitors. Given its valuation growth, AI capabilities, and global reach, the odds are decidedly in favor of the latter. What do you think? Will Vanta's approach become the industry standard, or is there room for other players to catch up? Share your thoughts in the comments.